worms. Did you? There's worms. Did you know that there's a worm farm here?
No.
It looks disgusting. But, you know, it's another composting method. And there's worms growing in there, incredible worms. It makes incredible soil. So it's just another composting method. If I dig down, I guess you'll... Blah. Oh, look. See? But that all crumbles down and gets like, turns black. And it's like the richest soil you could ever have. It's amazing. I can't believe I'm interested in things like this. But it's very cool. It really is like, I may seem excited now, that's because I am. It's like, oh.
The cars come, don't move, because I'm going to show you something that we're doing here as part of our shared street experiment.
They have to just go around.
Thank you. How are you today? Good. So they'll figure it out. They always do. This is called a car retraining exercise. Now, okay, thanks. Now this guy will come and we'll save you. Thank you. They're so happy. Usually on the weekends they're so happy. During the week when we do this, they get sometimes very upset. Even cursing and hunking, getting out of the car and threatening us. But now I want to distinguish, if I may, between the neighborhood, the LA Eco Village neighborhood, and the LA Eco Village intentional community. The neighborhood is this physical 2-block area. Many people in the 2-block area don't even know they live someplace called Eco Village. The Los Angeles Eco Village is a demonstration project where people who come here to live intentionally are demonstrating the complex set of interactive processes that actually integrate the social and the economic and the ecological systems of the neighborhood to achieve a higher quality of life at a much lower environmental impact.
I moved to LA to be close to my family, but it meant leaving everything I'd known and was comfortable with on the East Coast to come to the West Coast. When I first came here, I thought people weren't very good gardeners because of what I didn't know. You know, like, it's not the same here. They don't make gardens with rows. And that was a discovery to me. So I thought they just like had a lot of weeds and no one was taking care of it, you know. Well, as it turned out, like, permaculture is more about, it's more like how things really grow, not organizing things in a very linear way. As an artist trying to make it in this big city, which was overpowering sometimes. And it's hard to make friends in LA. I mean, friends that are going to be there the next day and the next day, or the next week and the next week. But I had no idea I'd ever be living in a place like Eco Village. You know, the first time I came, I knew I wanted to live here. That's not an experience I'd had in my life. You know, this is a new beginning because there is a lot of support here. And the support often isn't like necessarily one-to-one. It's just the idea that you're in a community where people want to do things and they care about, they want to change the world. And I've never been around a lot of people who want to change the world.
Cucumber, jicama, and mango.
Ay, qué ñicos, qué ñicos. Otro. Arr.
I'm super happy that my son was born here at the Eco Village. You know, I want him to not be sheltered. You know, I don't want him to grow up in a nice place. I really don't. Because nice places don't really help you understand everybody.
He has so many people that are educated. I mean, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have physicists.
There are folks who are religious in one way or another. They believe in certain gods. There's folks who are scientists and believe in science. There are folks who are atheists. And I want him to be able to get that rounded consciousness so that he can have educated choices about his emotional life, his spiritual life, and his physical life.
That's really important. That's what's really important in a kid's life.
He's my only grandchild, and I waited a long time for him. Strawberries?
Yeah.
Luca?
Come to eat strawberries.
All right, so dig this hole.
We don't love dirt and come to eat strawberries.
Put this one in this hole, right over here. Right over here. There's a hole. I make the hole, and you plant them. Oh, good. Now, what do you do after you put it in? What do you do with the dirt? That's it. Now press it down. Press it down. We don't want to break the stems. Around. Go around it. You can use 2 hands if you want. Oh, good. Good. Let's do another one now. I have a. Here comes the airplane. You want to get it right there where Grammy's. That's it. Good. Excellent. Oh. You know, I just feel by being here that I give him something way beyond what apartment I might live in. It's a whole community, and he can be so easily connected to everything that happens here. Here, Grammy bought you some of your box. I've learned a little bit through my life now, so he's just being exposed, and I don't know what more I can offer him as his grandmother.
There, compost. You gotta throw that away, put on your shoes, son. Dry your feet. Dry your feet, because you're gonna get athlete's foot.
Mama number 2. Compost is something we do every day. We get all our food scraps together, and we have a compost pit outside in the garden. So it all breaks down, and then eventually it becomes fertilizer for the soil. So we don't have to go out to Home Depot and stuff and get fake stuff. We actually have homemade compost here. So that's what we use for our garden and stuff. And if you look around, we have a lot of vegetation and a lot of awesome things that we can eat because we actually have organic compost.
Compost is like a really amazing, beautiful cycle of life, and it's really sad to like see everybody throwing away their food in the garbage. It's like, oh my God, it's like gold, you know, and like people just throw it away like it's nothing into a dump. It doesn't do anything there. But here, at least, we have a chance, and it's not that hard to compost. You can compost, you know, in an urban setting with very little space, and so long as you rotate it, you have like really amazing fertilizer or humus at the end of the day. And then that stuff is used on your new plants, and that's just rich nutrients. It's power food for your plants. So to throw away your food in the garbage should be illegal as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and there's actually issues because we have so much waste, and one of the biggest issues are like our tree trimmings from gardeners and stuff like that. But it's funny because all that stuff can be used as mulch in your garden, and
then it's going to the garbage instead. It's into the dump instead.
Yeah,
it's supposed to actually be used back in the environment where it should be used. There's just like stupid systems that don't make any sense, and it's part of this culture of use it and don't think about it anymore. But here obviously we try to use as much as possible.
Some of us feel that our most important aspect of wealth in this community is the earth that we're actually creating here. And we've got about a foot of mulch in the courtyard. We might stop trucks on the street that are pruning trees in the public spaces as well as private tree landscapers that are, cutting and mulching on site. And then we'll intercept them and say, hey, come dump on our street, rather than driving 20 or 30 miles to a composting site for which they have to pay to dump. So come dump on our street for free. And so then we wheelbarrow it into the courtyard. Of course, it's completely illegal to do that, but it's important to do illegal things when you're trying to change the world. What you have to do, you have to have a lot of confidence in your heart that, number one, you're a good person. Obviously, you are. You have to know you're a good person. You have to know that you're working in the public interest and that you're absolutely minimizing any possibility that you're going to cause any problem, real problem for the city. And then you have to stick your neck out and just do the right thing. I call it giraffing, a new word we can add to the language, giraffing. I think we've heard the expression a lot of times, well, you have to act like a giraffe and stick your neck out. But giraffing, kind of as a, to giraffe as a verb. So you just have to do that and trust yourself. You know that maybe there'll be consequences, and generally they're not.
I heard this crazy statistic that in LA, the biggest land use, the most space that we have, flat-wise, is for cars. That's so you have a car parking space at home, at least, and you have one at work, at the mall, at the restaurant, at the movie, and that takes a lot of space. You know, you have space that goes into the ground and space that goes up above the ground, and like in LA, that's the most space that you're creating. That's obviously stupid because humans are more important than cars, but people haven't made that separation. It's also really expensive. A parking space costs something like $40,000 for a parking space just by itself. Now, if you imagine that being the most space that we allocate for in our funding in the city for flat space, more than housing, more than parks, more than anything else, yeah, it gets pretty stupid expensive. And again, our money's going to the wrong thing other than education, other than green public space and blah, blah, blah. It goes on, right? So there's those obvious things to me that I don't want to be supporting that. I've only been a biker for, you know, about 10, 12 years or so. But one day when I just like, I realized its power, which was my own power, I just didn't look back. I was like, this is what I want to be doing.
It's fun. I just feel like I'm more in contact with everything that's going on. Like I see more people. I see like little shops. I notice more things than I would in a car. When I'm in a car, I'm just like, car, people, road rage. I get really angry when I drive. So, it's fun. It's fun. It's free.
What the bicycle does to a person individually and also a society, if you really embrace it as a society, is it keeps you in human scale on a huge level. Like all of a sudden, if you're planning a family, we're like, well, hey, hon, we've got one bike. Should we have 10 kids? Well, fuck no, we're not gonna have 10 kids. How are we gonna get these kids around, you know? And then are like, are you gonna go to the store? Sure, we can go to the Santa Monica Trader Joe's, but we're on a bike. Why the hell would we do that? You go 5 miles away. The vehicle creates the behavior in a sense. Our city is now dysfunctional because of the car. I mean, the valley shouldn't exist. The only reason the valley exists is because we are able to create these expensive highways. And you know what? I do travel from downtown to Santa Monica on my bike. And I beat cars there, and I definitely beat cars back. Like this freeway thing people think is a freeway. It's not a freeway. It's a freeway 3 in the morning when no one's going anywhere anyway. If it was a 24-hour city, then yeah, maybe it would make sense, but no, it's not. And I'm sorry, but no one's going faster than me at 4 in the afternoon in LA. Just not.
You ever seen a carrot gone to flower?
No. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't it amazing?
I thought those were Queen Anne's lace.
Well, Queen Anne's lace is the wild version of carrots.
Oh.
And it's actually kind of poisonous, so you don't want to eat them.
I believe that we need to really take charge of our lives and take charge of our health. And there's a ton of information out there. And so one of the things that I have done here is with another member, with Brad, we meet once a week here and we do like a health group. And it's all about a natural health group. We talk about things we're learning. I have certain books. We watch video clips. We make green juice together. We cook a pot of greens. We go out in the garden. We wash everything.
Actually, not.
No?
No, I don't wash anymore because you get you've come across this when you've read.
Yeah.
That the dirt on the light covering has very beneficial bacteria for the body.
Okay.
Humans used to have this going through their systems all the time, and then we became ultra clean, and we started having problems.
Okay.
So it's
Well,
actually,
well,
but if you want to wash them,
No, it's
that's
okay.
fine.
You know why? Because I know we don't have dogs here.
Yeah,
If we had dogs here, I think
Yeah.
I'd insist on
yeah,
washing,
we
just-
really.
but we don't have dogs.
No, I don't think there's anything on here that's going to be harmful.
Okay.
I mean, even if there's a few bugs, those are good protein. So let's start.
Okay.
And we'll just put some greens in here.
I'm gonna get a couple out for our friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To life, l'chaim.
Oh, I love it.
Mm.
Oh, I like it. Good.
I usually don't make it.
I like the
very sweet.
pecans in it.
Yeah, any food from a grocery store or even farmers markets don't have is the living energy of the plant. That goes away in an hour.
Oh, so
That's
we
gone.
just so
So the only way to get that, and the Chinese would say you must have that, you know, in the Ayurvedic, the Indian Ayurvedic systems, you have to
so
have
you
the
need
living
it
energy.
like right away. So
Yeah,
it's
you have
like
to pick
being
and eat,
able to go
basically.
out right.
Pick and eat, you know,
Wow.
is the best. And then-
So that's a nice vote for people growing their own gardens in their
Absolutely.
yards.
That's the only
Oh,
way.
what are we having for supper tonight?
Well, let's go see.
Go in the garden.
Yeah, let's go see.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going out there now.
Did you smell it? Oh my goodness. Smell it, Luca. Smell it. Put it in your nose. Mmm. Smells good, huh? That's gonna make tea.
It's nice for him to see something else, especially in LA, where there's a lot of really affluent people, and there can be a kind of a materialistic side to life, and you hear a lot of people feeling like it's not a great place to raise kids necessarily, and so I think it's nice to have something a little bit more down to earth. It's good, but it's a little bit hot still here. I was confident that she'd get in, and be that she's found a community that she feels a part of, and now she's been able to retire, and so I think it's a community where she can feel like she's part of still having a purpose.
So we want to keep it super basic, right? Just some clouds, just the sun in the middle, you know, right there. You can do like the hills in the back like that. You can rock your body right here.
That's good. So do we need tables for anything more?
We need food and we need dishwashing.
Guys, we need people in the street so that cars don't go through the street. So the more we claim this space, the less they will.
Sorry, no parking. That's 5, right? Who helped you?
We call what we're doing today an intersection repair, which means essentially that we're repairing the intersection of our two streets that were essentially made and designed for automobiles, and we're transforming the intersection into a public plaza that's made for people. That doesn't mean that cars can't use it, but it means that the street is shared by people, by bicyclists, by carriages, by kids playing in the streets. So we expect cars to be respectful of that. This is more like about social sustainability.
Part of it is that the cars have taken over, and that in neighborhoods we ought to use this, create other purposes for the streets also.
I think it's great. I mean, it's definitely like an effort to kind of like transform what it is to live in a city, especially in this city where it's so it's such an urban jungle, so dominated by concrete and cars, and so and also therefore really alienating in a lot of different ways. And so this is obviously like in multiple ways an effort to really for a day transform that and ultimately as a inspire people to do more of the same. So.
Hand without touching. Now pick it up. What's your name?
The changes we're trying to make in our lives come from a healthy place and a place that's really trying to change things for the better, because it feels like a lot of the efforts to homogenize our culture has been really negative, and a lot of people have gotten hurt, and not just people here in this country, but in other places of the world have suffered because of the way that we live our life now. And I hope that people understand that we're not extremists. We're from here like everybody else is, and we're just taking a more conscious approach at addressing the problems that are here right now. And we're not sitting on our asses watching TV, except at nighttime when we watch Netflix.
In the world, we have, a lot is changing, and so many changes need to be made. And we're trying to figure it out, and there's not always agreement. However, change is happening. And so this, in a way, this is just a tiny example. And the elements that we're dealing with here all the time about how to make the most constructive changes and how to reach for something that truly is different, and not just different, like better, higher quality living for everyone. So I'm really proud to be part of it.